Hey everybody, it's Brooke and Big D from the Buttered Home. And look, I just have to point out, if you don't get to see my big old ray of sunshine very much, but I've seen a couple of people out and about this week and they always say, well, now I know why you call him Big D. So it's hard to tell on camera, but I am 5'10" tall. And he's a whole head taller than me. So I know that's irrelevant, not why you're here with us, but we did want to just give Big D a formal introduction. And just full disclaimer, he is not going to be talking. He does not do the camera. That's my job. So anyway, we would like to welcome all of you football fans and football food fans today because it's National Pork Month. So what better time to celebrate with your family and friends and have a home tailgate? Y'all have heard me say it before. We absolutely love having home tailgates, and we call it home gate, right?
Yep.
Home gate. So wildly popular now, we have the smash burger craze, and we have partnered with our friends over at Alabama Farmers Federation and sweetgrownalabama.org and pork.org to highlight some of our favorite Alabama farmers, our pork producers. And today we're going to be making live for you some of the best smash burgers that you'll ever have. We're going to be sharing with you our bacon crusted pork smash burgers. Y'all, these things, they're addictive. So we're going to show you how to make a lot of them because they're hard to stop eating. All right, so we're going to get things situated and get things started. And first of all, we're going to kind of go through the recipe with you. Now, we're doing this on a flat top griddle, but you certainly don't have to, and we'll talk about that just a little bit more in just a few minutes. But we have, and we don't have the whole recipe here because we have already prepped and got some ready, but I'm going to go through the recipe as is. And we have 2 pounds of fresh ground pork that we have sourced from a local Alabama farmer here, a pork producer. And what we love doing is going to sweetgrownalabama.org, and from pumpkins to pork to everything in between, you can find your very own local Alabama pork and all kinds of things. So we have 2 pounds of that here, and Big D is going to be putting in this garlic southern flavor. I'm trying to get it where you can see it. We don't film outside very much, so we're not a well-oiled machine. So, but Southern Flavor is also an Alabama-made product from our friends, and this is the garlic seasoning. They have all different kinds that you can get. And let me put it where you can see it. I think that was it. But this is garlic seasoning, and this is fabulous. We use this for everything. So to 2 pounds of the ground pork, we're going to be adding about 1/4 of a cup of that garlic seasoning. Now, these have tons of flavor. The garlic seasoning is not salty per se, but it does have some salt content to it. So these are pretty strong, but we love garlic, so you might want to do a little less than 1/4 of a cup, but that's just what we recommend for full maximum flavor. Now, if you don't have that garlic seasoning, you can certainly use the seasoning of your choice, but if it does not have salt in it, you want to just make sure that you add some salt to it, because salt is the easiest, most common form of or most common way to add just a ton of flavor to pork or any protein for that matter. All right, so Big D's getting that mixed in. And then these smash burgers, this is a double patty burger. So for every 1 serving, you're going to want to make 2 patties. And we just recommend using 1/4 of a cup measuring cup and to roll your balls out. And we do all this ahead of time, so we're just going to make one for you just to show you how to put it together. So we get out that 1/4 of a cup, and these are pretty big burgers, so if you wanted to make them a little smaller, of course you would just adjust how much you use. We just roll those into a ball, and then we're going to roll them into some crumbled bacon that we cooked earlier. So it's National Pork Month. Pork on pork, that's the way to go, right? put some pork on your fork, or in this case, put some pork on your everything. So there are the smashed burger balls, and we're going to do 2 of those really quickly because that will equal 1 serving of the smashed burger. So I'm going to take a sip of my Coca-Cola and let him get that one mixed up. As usual, y'all, we love to share food love, and we would love it if once we're done, or you can do it right now. If you're on Facebook, you can just, there's a little arrow or 3 dots down at the bottom of the screen, and we would love for you to share this video with your friends so that they can join us and watch us cook these beautiful things. All right, so one other thing that makes these a smash burger are these thinly sliced onions. So for 2 pounds of the ground pork, we're going to use 1 whole yellow onion. And you know, I could have done this ahead of time, and I did for the most part, but safety in the kitchen is very close to my heart. So I have my mandolin slicer set on the thinnest setting. I think it's setting 1 on mine, but yours may be different. And I've sliced that onion in half so that it has a flat side. And then this is the important part. Always have a mandolin that has a guard. And then just take it and just get those beautiful thin slices of that onion right there. And using that guard protects your fingers. Safety in the kitchen is possibly one of the most important things that we have. Okay, so another good point about this recipe is you want to make sure that you have everything just super close by. And we have got Big D's flat top over here, and it's heated up and ready to go. So he's got his smash burgers, and can we just take just a minute to just appreciate how beautiful these guys are even before we cook them. He's got the smash burgers here. He's got another parchment lined tray underneath for the cooked so that we can keep the raw from the cooked. We've got our cheese ready, our onions ready. He's got all his tools ready. So how about it? Let's get to it, y'all. Let's show these beautiful pork burgers. Now he has preheated his stove here, and this happens fast, so it's real important that not only you have all of those things ready to go, but that you have them within reach, and you only cook a couple at a time. This is a great tailgate meal because you can almost be a short order cook. And while for most of us women, that doesn't sound very appealing, because when we're in the kitchen, when we get done cooking, we like to be done. But these men folks, buddy, when they're tailgating and cooking for all their friends or family, they are happy to just kind of stand at their grill or their griddle and keep things moving. So what we do is we let these sit here for just a minute whole and let that fat render. We'll let it render down. Before we get to it, because these have literally no more than like a 3-minute cook time. All right, Big D, have I missed anything?
No.
All right, so we take a piece of parchment and a press, and he's going to just flatten that one patty out and carefully take that parchment up. And he's getting it nice and flattened all evenly. And almost just as quick as he gets those other ones done, he'll be ready to flip the 2 that he's already flattened out. Now, like I said before, you don't have to have a outdoor griddle to do this. If you wanted to make these for your own home tailgate, this is very easy to do in a stovetop griddle or even a cast iron pan. All right. So for one of our burgers, he's taking those sliced onions and he's putting them on the top. And these guys have cooked, you know, for just a minute, maybe just a minute and a half. It doesn't take long at all. What have you got your heat set to on your griddle?
On low.
It's on low.
Yeah.
We don't want them to cook too fast, right?
Right.
All right, so now he's gonna flip that onion side over. And let's just look at that crust. It's got that crispy bacon in it, and because we were cooking it on this hot cast iron, it makes a crust all on its own on that burger. And you know, we talk a lot about at what temperature you should cook different proteins. And I know back in May, whenever we did that delicious blueberry glazed pork loin, I talked a lot about how you could cook pork loin to the same medium rare temperature at 145 as a good steak, and it's just fine. Ground pork is a little bit different. You always want to make sure that you have it cooked to 160 degrees to get that optimum. But these guys, they're so thin, I mean, you don't even need a meat thermometer. Once they're browned all the way through, because they're, how thick would you say those are, Big D?
1/4 of an inch.
They're probably 1/4 of an inch. Now, the patty that does not have the onions, he tops it with 2 pieces of cheese. Now, we recommend sharp cheddar and Colby Jack. There's something about the sharpness and the sweetness of these guys with that cheese, but just like all of our other recipes, we want you to make this your own. We want it to become just a beautiful rendition of your home tailgate, something that you can become famous for. So now all we do is he picked up that onion side down, and put it over the cheese. We're gonna let that cheese melt before he takes them up. And see, he's got a clean pan over here lined with parchment for the ones that are done, for no cross-contamination. Now, I know it's gonna be hard to do, but we have to let these rest for just a few minutes. And while we're doing that, Big D's gonna go get our condiments, because, you know, I always have to forget something. And the condiments are, you know, that was kind of an afterthought. But by the time he gets them and we dress these guys up, they're gonna be just fine and ready for us to dress up and eat. So we're at the Buttered Home studio porch, and while we haven't really begun construction on this out here, and let me change the camera around because I thought I did it, I was talking to nobody. We're out here on the studio porch. This is so nice. I mean, we can just come out here and we can watch our game day. Isn't that what that's called? Yep. College game day. That's right. See, I remembered it on the spot. But we can watch our college game day. We can cook out here. We've got snacks. And we're just ready to spend the day out here. The weather is pleasant out here for us today. And it's just been so nice. So, okay. I'm going to dress one of these guys up, and then I'll swap the camera around and we'll show you. Let me get my little camera set up here so you'll, oh goodness, that was off camera. That's pretty good. So we'll be able to swap things up so you can kind of see what we've got going on. Now, these are all just suggestions about what we do here, but we take that onion thing up a notch, and we've got these beautiful, beautiful onion buns, just because, and you can very well take those and put them on the griddle too. That's just fantastic to be able to do that. Now, I am of the opinion the messier burger a burger is, the better it tastes. So you're going to see me like overuse a bunch of condiments on here. But Big D's going to top that bun. And then we're just going to put it on there. And I just want you just to take just a minute just to appreciate all that is. I mean, and it's just a real thing of beauty. So Big D and I have been together
Long time.
You have to say it like that.
Just a long time.
We've been together 30 years. We've been married 29.
Yeah.
And together 30 years. When you know, you know. I don't know what else to say. But I'm going to try it, and then he's going to try it. And we're okay. We've been together long enough that we're already cross-contaminated with one another. And we've had 2 children together. I'm going to have a... Thank you. Oh, my... Oh, I hope we got that cheese and onion pull. Here you go. I mean, smash burgers are great, right? Don't get me wrong. We love just regular smash burgers. But there is just something, I mean, and I've just I gotta show you again. There is just something about that. I mean, it's juicy and delicious. And let's see if we can get that cheese pulled. Oh. You see that cheese pull right there? Just absolutely fantastic. And y'all, it took us 3 times as long to set all this up as it did to cook them. So if you have somebody in your life who loves to tailgate and they are just hooked on this smash burger craze like so many people are, why don't you suggest to them to go over to thebutteredhome.com in 8 minutes and you can print out this free recipe card for these delicious pork smash burgers. And then when you get done, have them go to sweetgrownalabama.org, find a local Alabama farmer and pork producer to get this beautiful ground pork locally sourced if you're local with us in Alabama. If you're out of state watching with us today, I'm sure that there's some resources that you can find to find your own fresh pork, because there is a difference. There is a very big difference. And not only is the difference in the flavor of the pork from a local pork producer, it is really just about supporting farmers. And our farmers, they're hurting right now. This has been a bad year for farmers across the country, and it's kind of sad. So if there's one thing that I can leave you with, it's to go out and support a local farmer. Buy fresh. Not only is it 10 times better for you, but you're also helping feed a farmer's family when you allow a farmer and his family to feed you. And that's so important, especially right now in this day and time. It's so much more important than any football game that's going on. I've always said that if people got as excited about Jesus and loving their neighbor as they do college football, this world would be a much better place. And I think my mama even said that as well too. Got lots of wisdom that was handed down over the years from her that y'all hear me use a lot. But we have more bacon crusted pork burgers, pork smash burgers to make, and we're not going to tie you up, because what we want you to do is, you've got time. It's 10 o'clock. Well, 9:50. It's 9:50, and in 10 minutes this recipe is going to drop. We want you to head over to thebutteredhome.com, print out your free recipe card, and we would like for you to make this, for the games today. And like I said before, you don't have to have a flat top. You can do this on a stovetop griddle. And if you don't have a stovetop griddle, you can also do it in just a plain old cast iron pan. I love sharing recipes that are for everybody and every level of cook, as well as every level of equipment that the cook may have. And this one, there's just no reason not to make it. No reason at all. We love all you guys. We thank you for joining us today. We hope that you have a healthy and safe Saturday and be with your family and friends and enjoy this beautiful weather. And yeah, it's okay to enjoy the football games, but just take a moment, and I always praise the Lord for giving you breath in your body and food on your table. From me and Big D, my big freaking ray of sunshine.